Base information theory. The concept first emerged not as a complete theory, but as a persistent question concerning the nature of existence in lived experience. A preliminary definition suggested that to exist was to think of the past, experience the present, and anticipate the future. This formulation appeared elegant and intuitive, yet it quickly proved incomplete since many entities that undeniably exist do not engage in reflective thought. The definition therefore shifted from existence itself to a narrower subject, human consciousness. This revision produced a new line of inquiry. If consciousness is not an immaterial entity floating above the body, then it must arise through embodied processes. The body does not merely receive information passively, it actively conditions perception, emotion, cognition, and even creative capacity. Fatigue, posture, breathing, stress, and calm all alter the quality of thought. The distinction between mind and body becomes less absolute than traditional models assume, and consciousness appears instead as an emergent integration within a living system. From this perspective, the central problem becomes structural rather than metaphysical. If consciousness integrates past, present, and future through embodied processes, then the organization of that integration must depend on the informational environment in which it develops. Historical comparison reveals that decades ago, information was slower, more centralized, and more coherent. In such conditions, the past was more settled, the present less fragmented, and the future more predictable. This did not produce truth in any final sense, but it did provide stability, and stability enabled consciousness to organize itself around enduring narratives and long-term expectations. The contemporary environment is markedly different. Information now arrives continuously, rapidly, and often in contradiction. The past is repeatedly revised, the present is dispersed across competing stimuli, and the future appears increasingly unstable. Under such conditions, attention becomes strained and long-term certainty weakens. Yet this destabilization also produces possibility. When no single narrative maintains exclusive authority, the individual gains greater freedom to reinterpret the past, structure the present, and imagine alternative futures. This freedom, however, is inseparable from disorientation. Increased possibility does not guarantee clarity. It often produces anxiety. Anxiety can therefore be understood not merely as dysfunction, but as a signal that existing cognitive frameworks are no longer sufficient. It marks the boundary of an old model and the pressure of an emerging one. The same condition may lead either to contraction, in which one retreats into simpler external narratives, or to expansion, in which one actively organizes information and becomes increasingly self-authored. The central claim of base information theory is thus that consciousness is shaped by the speed, scale, and structure of information. As informational flows become faster and more variable, external frameworks lose authority and responsibility shifts inward. The individual is then confronted with a fundamental choice: to be shaped passively by the stream of information, or to become an active interpreter capable of constructing meaning across past, present, and future. In this sense, modern existence is not static but negotiative, and the unprecedented complexity of the present era creates both a burden and an opportunity, the possibility of deliberate self-definition.